comment according to policy 903. We remind everyone of the following. Public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and note their name and municipality. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer rather than individual board members, district employees, or members of the public. The speaker may speak once during each comment period. Please note, these sessions are designated for comments. To protect the confidentiality and privacy of all members of the community, the board encourages members of the public to direct any comments regarding particular individuals, such as students or district employees, privately to the superintendent or other appropriate administrator, or to communicate with the board privately by sending an email to psdschoolboard@pennridge.org. Questions raised and not answered may be followed up at a later time. So at this time, is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the agenda. And I think our first item up here tonight is a technology summer review. Mrs. Miller. It's been a very busy summer here in the district. Every bit of technology we had was updated, replaced, or otherwise blown up. So if you could give us an update on where we are with things, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And we don't like to say blown up.
Okay.
You know, so,
All right.
we reboot things, right? So as Mr. Krause said, I'd like to give you just a little review about what the technology department did over the summer. We have been extremely busy. It was quite a summer, as you'll see, and hopefully I can shed some light on exactly what we did, and if you have any questions, I can answer them at the end of this. So the first thing that we started with was a network refresh. We lease our network switches district-wide, and it was a 4-year lease, so we were fortunate to have that 4-year lease run up. And I say fortunate, and I'm going to put that in air quotes. This was quite a project. We have 178 switches throughout 69 data closets in 14 locations throughout the district. So this was no small task by any means. So what this meant was we had to go into each of the data closets. We configured and installed new Cisco switches. They're 3850s and 2960s, depending on where they are within the pecking order of the closet. We now are covered with dual links. Some are 1 gig links, some are 10 gig links in each of the MDFs, which is the main data closet. And that's to ensure data redundancy in case of a switch failure. So if one switch does fail, then the other one just seamlessly takes over. We also had to configure all the VLANs, which are the virtual LANs throughout the district, to help simplify management of all the district network devices that were coming online this summer. So those 5 bullets there might not look like a lot, but that was an extremely time-consuming project. And I'm very glad to say that it is behind us at this point. We have 1 switch to do yet, and that's scheduled for Thursday night. And then the switches that we pulled off of the old racks will be packed up, and we'll send them back to the leasing company, and then we'll be clean with the leasing company, so we should get everything back at that point. Along with the switches that were upgraded in each of the closets, we had electrical upgrades also that occurred. So to make sure that, again, we have so much riding on the network now, we put new UPSs and PDUs, which are power distribution units, in all of the data closets. And where we could, we actually added the closet to the generator. So Ace Electric was in here. They were the contractor doing the electrical work. We just had to plug everything in at the end of the project there. And again, that's to ensure that the network remains online in the event of a power outage. The other thing that you might have heard that we're getting in the district is this new little thing called phone system, the voice over IP phone system, the replacement of the aging Watsu digital system. We spent the latter half of the summer planning, designing, testing, dial-in plan, security features. We deployed approximately 900 phones district-wide. We're in the middle of testing the E911 capabilities now. We have a soft phone capability, which we'll be sending out to all the users. We haven't gotten to that piece of it yet. All the phones are now integrated through Outlook. So in other words, when you go to make a phone call, you'll be able to tell if somebody is either on their phone or if they're in a meeting. They can put a do not disturb. They can put a, I'm in a meeting. They can put any kind of a notice that they want so that you get a little bit more information when you're trying to call somebody rather than just, hey, they're not there. So that's kind of cool. At this point, we have been, a couple of us in the IT department have been trained on how to do add, changes, and deletes. So in other words, when somebody moves from office to office, we don't have to call CSI in anymore, so we don't have to call the telephone company in. We can maintain that ourselves. So the anticipated go-live date right now is mid-September. There is a phone on everybody's desk. We can call internally. We can do voicemail. We can't get the external calls yet. We haven't done that final port. So we're waiting. There's a couple interdependencies with Level 3, who is our outside provider, that we're still waiting on to go with the final cut, hopefully next Thursday is what we're shooting for because the district's closed. So that'll be a perfect day that we can do the final cut. The security camera system, so there are approximately now 500 cameras district-wide. The cameras came online and recording for the beginning of the school year. There is a monitor, very visible, in the building, in each main office of every building now. The secretaries, it's either on the secretary's computer or there is a dedicated computer, so that's controlling the monitor and what the view of the cameras is. The principals, the admin, security personnel, they've been trained on monitoring, recording, and retrieving the images at this point. So that's just about put to bed. On top of those couple little projects going on, we had all our regular I'll say, summer work. So at the end of the school year, we collect all the laptops, so the 9th through 12th graders, which is approximately 2,400 laptops at this point. This was the first year that we were coming off of a lease. So the 12th graders, we actually had to inventory, wipe them clean, get them all packed, and send them back to the leasing company. So that was 616 laptops that we had to touch, even though we were sending them back. So we really did 5 grades this summer instead of 4 grades. So that was kind of an adventure as well, but we got better at it as we went along. That was the first time we had to go through the actual return process. Then we cleaned, reimaged, and repaired all the 9th through 11th grade laptops. And then something that we did this year was we did the AP student laptop distribution. So we gave the opportunity for the AP students who had summer work assigned to them for their AP class. We picked, it was either 3 or 4 days that we picked at the very beginning of August, and the kids were able to come in and pick up their laptop. Out of 482 eligible students, we had 335 come in and pick it up, so it was very successful. So we're going to see how we can make it even better for next year. This year kind of came in the middle of the year, so we had to zig and zag a little bit, but now I think we'll be better prepared for it for next year. Once we were able to distribute some of the AP laptops, it was time to image the new 9th grade laptops. So this was, I think it was the second week in August. We had 650 of them come in. It's a very large class. This class coming in is a big class. So we imaged them. Distribution for grades 10 through 12 took place during the week of August 21st. At that time, we had 787 of them were distributed, and then the rest of the 10th through 12th graders were able to pick up during that first week of school. So between the 787 that were distributed during the regular August 21st week and the 335 AP students, we probably had, I think we had 670 to distribute that first week of school, kids who just didn't come in the summer to pick up. So what happens is they go to the front office, we make sure that they filled out their paperwork and everything is signed, and then they can go to the library and they can pick up their laptop, either before school or during study hall or after school. The 9th grade laptops are then distributed the week of, it was last week, so the second week of school this year, and they're distributed in the English class. So all the 9th graders have them as well. So at this point, just about everybody has their laptop distributed. Yes, check that one off the list. The middle schools. So the middle schools, we purchased a classroom set of 30 Lenovo N23s, which is like the wing book that we talked about, back in the spring when we were deciding what to purchase. So each core 6th grade class has a cart, not a cart, but an actual charging station, so it doesn't move. It just stays in their classroom of 30 Lenovo. So it was a total of 660. This increases device access across all grades because now the 6th graders are kind of out of the equation. They have their laptops. The teachers are managing these beautifully. So if the laptop charging station has numbers 1 through 32, that same student who comes into Mrs. Miller's math class always gets number 1. So this way it gives a little bit more ownership as well for the student as they're going from class to class as well, because they're not carrying the laptop with them. They're keeping the laptop stays in that core classroom. So we'll reevaluate then at the end of the year to see how this all goes and how logistically it flows. But at this point, that's the way we are working it. And again, we'll report to you at the end of the year how the logistics go with it. Teachers, so all the middle school teachers now have a Lenovo Yoga 370, which is, so it's a convertible, so it's a tablet and a laptop. They all got a dock in their classroom. We're also piloting wireless display adapters so they can walk around the classroom and display in from the projector. So we have them installed in all 6th grade rooms, and then we're waiting, very soon we'll be installing them in the math rooms as well, because the math curriculum kind of is waiting for like the wireless projection. So this just makes it more interactive for the teacher and the student so they can be walking around with their laptops. Elementary schools, this looks like such a clean, boring slide here, but if you really think about what we did was we cleaned and re-imaged every student computer in all 7 buildings, and then we also have to go back, so we image, we run updates, we clean everything, and then as the custodians are ripping apart the rooms to clean, we have to come back in and set everyone back up. So even though there's only 2 little bolts on there, that's time consuming as well. STEM. So STEM is off and running. There is a Lenovo cart in each of the middle schools, 35 Lenovo 11Es, which is the same model that the high school students use. We wanted a little beefier laptop for the STEM program rather than the N23s, which is kind of, more Chromebook-esque-ish. That's a word, it's probably not. So we went with the Lenovo 11Es in the middle schools, and then they each have an iPad card as well. We're in the process of putting some dedicated computers attached to some of the STEM devices as well. So the teachers are, unpacking their new tools, and we're finding, we're all trying to find our way a little bit with this program as far as how it's going to work and how tech can support and how the teachers are supporting. So we're still shaping some things as, they are getting more familiar with their equipment. I know they were all trained over the summer, and we're just trying to provide the support as we can as we go along here. Since we didn't have enough to do, we decided that we would change our mobile device management system for our iPads. So we went from a system that we were using, which was called AirWatch, to the implementation of a new mobile device management system, which is called JAMF. JAMF was more than half the cost, less than half. No, how would I say that? Anyway, AirWatch was about $12 a license because it is licensed every year. JAMF is $5 a license. So just for that reason alone, it was like, let's take a look at something else. This AirWatch was very expensive. JAMF is also a much easier tool to manage from the tech side, and it's an easier tool for the teachers to manage as well. So we have approximately 800 iPads now in the district, and we have launched a new iPad app catalog has been adopted. So there's a self-serve portal now for the teachers to bring down their own apps rather than having to go through tech every time they want an app. So that should save tech a lot of time on the back end, and it helps the teachers immensely too, because they're not waiting for tech to process a ticket to, push down an app. So it's self-serve. One of the other big projects that's going on right now is the high school TV studio. So as you know, we have ABT is the company who is doing the TV studio. Right now, Mr. Loeffler's group has, I think it's been painted, it's green screened, or it's the green paint. They've removed everything from the classroom, from the other side where the broadcast room is actually going to be. And the company has everything on order, and I believe they're going to really start full swing next week at this point. So they were waiting for a lot of the equipment to come in. So we ordered all new desktops for the broadcast journalism studio as well. We had to do a lot of new data runs to the studio and to the classroom, and now we'll work with ABT as we need to get everything up and running once they start to come in. One of the other things that we did software-wise was Kronos is our timekeeper software here within the district. It's for employees who actually swipe their badge in and out, and we also are now using it for time off requests. So in other words, if somebody is requesting either a vacation day, a personal day, or a sick day, it's all through Kronos. We went from version 6 to version 8, and this is to allow for a more accurate accrual balance tracking, something that we've been trying to get a handle on in the district for a couple years now. And it also gives the ability to request time from any computer. You don't have to be VPN'd in, so it's any computer, or for certain job classes, they can request time right from the time clock as well. So that's kind of a win-win there as well. As far as data, we rolled over our PowerSchool student information system, all the auxiliary data systems, busing, library, food services, Linkit. InfoSnap was up and running so that parents can go in and verify their emergency information, and they could pay for their laptop fee if they chose to pay for that laptop fee. So that was all done through InfoSnap. We met our state reporting deadlines for filing for the 16-17 school year. We do all the student account management, we password reset, and we create all new accounts as well. So all that gets done on the data side of it. And at this point, the 2017-18 school year is off and running. I don't know if I'm in front of it or behind it, but it's running. So for better or worse, we're back. And at this point, we're trying to make sure that we close up all of our, clear up all of our loose ends that we haven't been able to get to. There's a lot of tickets out there when, we first go back to school. There's many teachers and there's 8 of us. So, it takes a while to get through some of the backlog, but we're getting there. So that's what we did all summer. So any questions, I'd be happy to field some.
Diane, how many people are on your staff? Do you have like 50, 60 people?
No, we have 8. 8 and myself, so it's a total of 9.
So I just want to commend you and your staff for the tremendous effort over the summer. For anybody who's imaged a computer, they understand that can be painful at times. So I can appreciate the effort that goes into that, making sure that the students have what they need on day one.
So thank you. And thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you also, and thank you for setting up making it possible for the AP students to get their computers early. And it was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout. That was much higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'll admit it, I didn't think we were going to get many over 150. So 335, that was a great turnout.
Yeah, no, it's good. If you saw the amount of work they had to do,
Good. I'm glad we were able to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Mrs. Miller, how transparent do you expect the conversion from the old phone system to the new phone system to be? People going to recognize that it's different, or are they just going to dial the number and it will sound more or less the same?
So from external, I assume?
Yes, correct.
Well, hopefully it sounds clearer, but it really should be transparent. So we're porting over all the main numbers for all the schools. So we are porting them over so that the numbers aren't changing there. We do have some work to do as far as like on websites to make sure everything is updated. We tried to keep the internal extensions as much as we could, but we did change like a dialing plan. We have a building code in front of the extension now. So that's changed. So we have to time it right, so when we do switch from the old to the new, we're updating the website at the same time, so parents can get to teachers' new voicemail and that type of thing. But as far as to the outside, they really shouldn't notice. And we're redoing the auto attendant as well, so when you call and you get the, "Hi, you've reached Pennridge High School, press 1, press 2, press 3, those numbers are changing to make a little bit more sense. So in that respect, they may notice that.
Thank you.
Hi. When you're re-imaging and cleaning these computers after, at the end of 12th grade and they're returned to the leasing company, would that process be similar if we owned them? Or would it be more extensive if we owned them? So the process of cleaning the computers, if we owned the computers and we gave it to the student, or we recycled them, or we had them,
So when I say that we cleaned the 12th grade computers, we didn't overly
no, I
physically
mean
clean them.
inside.
So, yeah, we wiped the disk. So, yeah, we would have to, if it was going to anybody else, we would wipe the disk clean as well.
So the process would be the same if we sold it for scrap or something?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it would be more work to do that or less work?
No, we just want to make sure that nothing goes out of here with any type of information on that hard drive.
Correct, I just didn't know if it was going to be more work. Thank you.
And the other thing is that there are copyright issues, right? Those enterprise licenses are
Correct.
issued to us.
Oh, yes, they are,
So-
yes.
So you would have copyright infringement issues if you gave it to the student.
No, I don't want to give it to the student, but if we sold them for scrap,
Yeah, even then.
so it would be more money? What's your answer?
Never get more money for it.
No, would it cost us money to, what do you
Put your mic on, please.
We need to wipe it one way or the other, no matter what
So
we
it's
do.
so it's no additional, nothing
Put your mic
additional?
on, please.
I actually had the same question because I thought we were told before that if you lease them, it's more work. Or, I'm sorry, if we were to buy them, it was more work because we had to clear them all, but.
Oh, we cleared them to
We're
send
clearing
them.
them anyway, even to send them back, so.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. The other question that I had was, do we have numbers back yet on how many students chose to pay the fee versus not pay the fee for the laptop insurance?
Yes, and I should have had that number with me. The last I checked, though, it was about 5% had declined and 95 had accepted to take it. So I will get those numbers for you, though. I can run a quick query on that and give you those numbers.
Could you also compare then, when you do that, how much we took in versus how much it costs us for that insurance and see if we kind of worked out, if we broke even or not?
So we're not really trying to break even so much, but I can tell you how many have opted to pay that ADP. Is that the number that you're looking for?
You know what, actually, I was thinking, we wouldn't even know yet. Like, if kids, for example, right, if kids have insurance,
Mhm.
then if their computer breaks or gets damaged, it's covered. But if theirs doesn't, I'm a little premature because maybe at the end of the year, we can look at, based on the damages that we had and the students that had to pay versus not having insurance, how those numbers worked out, if it ended up being more, like if you have a student that's not paying the fee, but then they break their computer and it's costing them $250, but we're not paying the $250, we're paying what the insurance fee is, that would, in a sense, still cover for us that lost insurance fee and possibly even more insurance fees because the cost to fix it is more expensive. So I'm just curious how all of that will work out at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
We're kind of curious about that too, so to see how it goes. But like I said, the last time I had checked, it was about 5% had declined, but those numbers I can pull for you.
Along that same line, there's going to be a certain percentage, right, that don't pay the fee because they have free and reduced lunch, and the school district covers it for them, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is that part of the 5%?
No, I think the 5% had actually declined.
Declined. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
I can break it out for you though.
Yeah, it's our first year, so we're all kind of curious as to how this is.
We're curious too, to see how it's going to go, because it adds a little layer of complexity when we have to send it out for repair as well, and we have to make sure that we're tracking it a little bit differently as well. Because the student will actually get an invoice, and they will be responsible for, the damages.
Thanks.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
So, next item up is, I believe all the board members have seen the decision brief. But, does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, so we're comfortable moving that to the next regular board meeting as a motion?
Yeah, I would just like to say that I've heard from a lot of teachers that having that extra resource has been so tremendously helpful. And I know there were teachers specifically from Bedminster too who had said, can we keep Chris Brockman here at our school permanently? So I think they're going to be really excited to hear that they have some more support with technology at the elementary level, and they can have more access. So thank you.
Board members, any other questions? Okay. Public, any questions, comments? Mrs. Furlong?
Sue Furlong, West Rockville Township. What decision brief?
Okay. We have a decision brief sent to the school board, and it is a discussion on our current situation with technology integrators. And as you heard from Mrs. Miller, all the new technologies that have come to the district. And currently we have 2 technology integrators. And the request in the decision brief was to add a 3rd technology integrator, so that we would, even though they would all work together on many different projects, we would have one integrator dedicated for each level. And that was the decision brief.
And that discussion didn't warrant any public discussion?
That discussion would have happened at the regular board meeting.
Oh. Thank you.
Okay. No other questions? Comments from the gallery? All